La La Land is written and directed by Damien Chazelle and stars Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. And La La Land is a musical about a struggling actress named Mia, played by Emma Stone, who meets a struggling jazz pianist, Sebastian, played by Ryan Gosling, in Los Angeles, California. And that's really all you need to know. Now, I don't think I've been more hyped to see a movie since like Star Wars The Force Awakens. Like, there was just so much hype going into this movie, understandably so, because it won all 7 of the Golden Globes it was nominated for, which broke the record, and also just because the Philippine release date for La La Land had been pushed so many times from last year, but we finally got it now. And here's the thing with this movie. If you go back to my video where I talk about the top 15 movies of 2016, all of those movies do not hold a candle to La La Land. This is the best thing I've seen in the past 12 months. It is such an incredible film. The visuals alone could make you cry. It's just such an unbelievably well-crafted film, all the way down to the editing, and it's directed to perfection by Damien Chazelle. I honestly don't really know where to begin, so I'm just gonna talk about the cinematography first by Linus Sandgren. Incredible. Some of the best I've seen in the past 12 months. It's just such a bright movie with all these primary colors that heighten all the emotions and really make you feel as if you're watching a classic old Hollywood musical. And I know some people who live in LA or have been to LA say that this movie makes LA look a lot nicer than it actually does. But at least for this movie, like seeing the LA skyline and like the purple sky, it's intoxicating. It makes you just so excited to see the movie. But this movie also makes great use of darkness as well. There are a lot of moments throughout the film where all the lights go down and a spotlight shines on a certain character, and the way it's done, it feels as seamless as if you're watching it on stage, you know? Like, I'm sure that they digitally added some of that darkness, but the way it's done here just makes it feel so immersive. The production design in this movie is excellent as well. Just in every location, everything just feels so detailed. And what's so great about the look of this movie is that it has one foot in the past and one in the present. There are elements that feel like they come straight from these old Hollywood musicals, but then there are other elements that are, you know, clearly could only exist in the present day. And I feel like this really reflects sort of both the romanticism and the realism of the story. And that balance, that sort of duality, is the best thing about the story in my opinion. And really, the story is super straightforward. It's a romantic comedy in the purest sense of that word. But it really proves that in film, what really matters is not the story itself necessarily, but how you tell this story. And to me, La La Land really, really works just because I was so invested in the characters. I know some people do not like Sebastian, the character played by Ryan Gosling, but I personally loved him because I understood exactly where he was coming from, and I really couldn't be mad at either of them. You know, they just have so much passion for what they do, and that's like my favorite thing in the world. Seeing people passionate about something really just gives me so much joy, and I understand that all of their decisions, even if some of them might be sort of bad or mean, I understand just how much the decisions mean to them. This is a movie that tells you that your dreams are worth chasing, whether or not you've achieved them, whether or not they're in reach. Just the ability to be able to dream for yourself is a success in itself. And it really helps that the dialogue in the movie is both genuinely hilarious and really emotionally affecting when it has to be. And really, the reason why so much of this dialogue works is just because Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling just have so much great chemistry together, which they've proven in Gangster Squad and Crazy Stupid Love. And you know what? I know Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone are totally in love in real life, but the romance between Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling in this movie just feels so real. It's so pure and it's so innocent. You believe that it's the kind of love wherein it's based on wanting the other person to just be the best they can be. And they really put that across really well. Ryan Gosling has this quiet, frustrated quality about him that's reflected in his singing, because his voice is kind of shaky and shy, but it does work for his character. But then when he's on the piano, he becomes a completely different person. Like, you can just feel the passion in the way he plays. And Emma Stone, of course, just has endless charisma about her, and she's just so fun to watch. But, you know, even if she has all that charisma, she manages to contain it all into like the smallest expressions and gestures, and it's surprisingly a really restrained performance. And because her character is an actress, like, I don't know how she pulled it off, but Emma Stone does this thing where sometimes she acts like she's overacting a bit, and she acts like she's acting really well. Like, it's crazy. And her voice is lovely. It is just so nice, and you could listen to it for days on end. So let's talk about the music in this movie. In a word, it is perfect. It is perfect for this film and for what it has to be. The songs here are composed by Justin Hurwitz and written by Pasek and Paul, who are from Broadway. And you have to understand the songs here aren't all showstoppers. You know, not all of them are How Far I'll Go or Let It Go, but they don't need to be. What they do is they integrate flawlessly into the story and really kind of help the tone more than anything else. I think the best example for this is City of Stars, which is pretty much like the theme song for the whole movie. Because when you hear it alone in the movie, it's not very long, and it doesn't have as much of an impact as you think it might have. But it's repeated as a motif throughout the entire film, and that's where it gains its real power and its real meaning. I could talk about all the songs in this soundtrack for like forever, and just how fun they are. Another Day of Sun, Someone in the Crowd, A Lovely Night, Start the Fire, which is the John Legend song, which is incredible, and of course Audition, The Fools Who Dream, which is sung by Mia, and that's the song that like really got me closest to crying. It's so powerful, and it just hit me where I live. And the original score here by Justin Hurwitz, in my opinion, is instantly iconic. I think it will be remembered for years to come. Again, it captures the bittersweetness of the story, both the happy parts and the sad parts. And it really shines when it comes to these extended musical sequences that have no dialogue. It's just music and dance. And it just feels like they really understand old Hollywood, you know? Like, when people start singing and dancing, this movie understands that it's not meant to be literal. It's just that, you know, when you have these characters feeling so much emotion, dialogue just doesn't cut it, and they have to sing and dance. It's a transcendent emotional moment for them, and this movie gets it. And one thing we have to talk about in this movie, before I forget, is the editing by Tom Cross. The pacing is perfect and really knows when to slow down for the more emotional moments, but when it speeds up, you can really feel just how in love both these characters are with each other and their crafts. This movie is a little over 2 hours long, but you don't feel it at all. And when you have all these big wordless musical sequences, the editing really tells you all you need to know about the story and speaks on so many levels about what's happening beneath the surface. And the way this movie is structured as well is great, especially with the beginning and with the ending. I won't spoil the ending, but it is fantastic. And honestly, there's really only one guy who's responsible for all of this, and that's Damien Chazelle. He has proven at the ripe young age of 31 that he is one of the best directors working today, simply put. As you're watching La La Land, you can just feel how in love he is with filmmaking and how much he loves jazz and how much respect he has for people who have dreams, even if they're foolish dreams. But he's not just a great director for me because he makes me feel that way, but technically speaking, he just has so much talent. Like, the way he deals with musical sequences, he does them in pretty much almost all just unbroken takes. And the camera is really sweeping throughout these shots, but then when you have the more intense emotional moments, the camera takes on like this subtle sort of shaky cam vibe, and that really, really works. And there's just such a sense of wonder in his direction, both with the comedic elements and the dramatic elements, and especially the musical sequences. They're just so meticulously crafted. And I have to go back to the ending of this movie, which I still won't spoil, but the last 10 minutes or so of this movie are a masterpiece. Like, the ending of Whiplash is one of the best of all time, but I feel like La La Land will be right up there with it. It is so emotionally complex, and it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in a cinema. La La Land is an absolutely phenomenal film. It feels like an event while you're watching it, and I honestly believe you can take absolutely anybody to see this movie and they will find something to enjoy about it, even if, you know, you're not American like me, even if you're not a singer or an actress or a musician. Like, this is for anyone who has ever had a dream and, you know, is trying to chase a dream or has given up on a dream. Like, you will find something to love about this movie, and I will watch it so many more times while it's still in theaters. It's great, man. It's just great. I'm just so happy. Alright, so those are my thoughts on La La Land. If you guys have seen it, please tell me what you thought about it, and whether you agree with me or not, please leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation.